Portal games may be the most consistent series of all time. That may be kind of a sarcastic statement considering there are only 2 games, but it is technically true, in my opinion. And honestly, the second game has absolutely no right being so goddamn good when compared to the high bar the first game set. So before we get going, spoilers. Yeah, I know, these are not new games, but there are certain aspects about them that are better experienced than told, so stop this video and go play both Portal games. You will not regret it. Portal the First was released on October 10th in 2007 as part of the Orange Box by Valve. It hit PC and Xbox 360 first, then came out for the PS3 in December. It was one of 5 games in the Tangerine container, the others being Half-Life 2, plus Episodes 1 and 2, and Team Fortress 2. Based on a free game called Narbacular Drop, which kind of was a tech demo by itself, it was actually included as kind of an experiment. The other games were shooting games, so a first-person puzzle shooter is a bit of a risk. That's why it's so short. It's a nearly perfect experience from beginning to end. It starts out simple, like any other puzzle game. The player controls Chell, a young woman who wakes up in a glass chamber and is greeted as a means to start testing. She encounters her first portal here and is off to testing. Chell is employed, or imprisoned, by a tech conglomerate called Aperture Science. By the end of the game, you've found out more about the world, or at least enough to be unnerved by the loneliness and the only other character present, GLaDOS. GLaDOS is, in several ways, the driving force behind the game. Chell is tasked with literally running experiments designed and curated by GLaDOS. Most puzzle chambers involve portals, orange and blue openings that can only be placed on certain surfaces that allow Chell to travel between them. Other puzzles include button pressing, lasers, and adorable death-spewing turrets. By the end of the game, GLaDOS has exposed herself for the maniacal being that she is. As the facility's AI, she has done some pretty bad stuff. Chell's efforts end up having a fracturing effect on GLaDOS. Let me be clear about something. GLaDOS is one of the best video game characters ever. She is clever, maniacal, and a persistent antagonist in a puzzle game, which I doubt is a description that can be attributed to any other character ever. She doesn't even seem that evil to begin with, but as I said, you do break her. After defeating GLaDOS, Chell makes it to the surface, but is mysteriously dragged backwards, as if back to testing, which leads perfectly to a sequel. Portal 2 came out on April 19, 2011 for PS3, Xbox 360, and various computers. It has gone on to be one of the most highly praised games of all time. There are so many amazing things about this game that I could go over. I guess I'll just start at the beginning. Chell wakes up in what appears to be a hotel room. There's a basic movement tutorial, and then all hell breaks loose. After what appears to be decades of wait and decay, we are introduced to a third character, Wheatley. Wheatley is a talking processing core, like those that were knocked off of GLaDOS while fighting her at the end of the first game. He commandeers Chell's room and, manually overrides a wall to start an escape process. The first few chambers function not unlike test chambers from the first game. As a matter of fact, some of them are test chambers from the first game, just decayed. But soon testing resumes after one of the best dialogue sequences in any game I have ever witnessed. Throughout testing, you are once again subjected to GLaDOS' taunting and explanations, but since you defeated her, she's a bit more vindictive. Portal 2 is an immaculately designed game, but my single favorite thing is how snide GLaDOS is during this portion of the game. After another face-off with GLaDOS, Chell falls down and you get to witness the experimental history of Aperture Science, along with audio recordings of Aperture's founder, Cave Johnson, and his assistant, Carolyn. This is where more new mechanics are introduced: blue gel, orange gel, clear gel, and white gel. Blue makes you bounce higher, orange makes you run fast, clear erases all other gels, and white allows portals to be placed on surfaces that usually can't have portals in them. This is actually where it's explained that portal surfaces have to be made with moon rocks. So the white gel is made out of moon rocks. This is important later. The battle with Wheatley at the end of the second game is highly informed by the battle with GLaDOS at the end of the first game, with even the lore that you've been introduced during Portal 2 coming into play, especially with the last thing you do. It's brilliant, and I love it. The back half of Portal 2 is very refreshing. The tests have a very manageable difficulty curve, and you get more and more lore at the same time. Wheatley becoming the villain and GLaDOS being the helper is a brilliant twist on how the game begins, and is especially charming based on GLaDOS' treatment of Chell in general. Portal 2 is a wonder of video game playing, and I'm not speaking about the brilliant two-player co-op or the rich but easy-to-use level creator. The single-player campaign is simply put, a treasure. But Wayward brilliant, how do they compare? This is a disappointingly easy thing to say, with one shining exception. Every single thing Portal does is done better in Portal 2. Movement is easier, or at least you walk faster. Tests are more challenging and more fun. The non-test levels are more fun and give more lore. GLaDOS is much more fun to witness. There are more level gimmicks. It goes on and on. The thing about that is exactly what a sequel is supposed to do. Do not let me heaping praise on the second game confuse you. Portal is an amazing game in its own right. The test being better in Portal 2 makes sense. The designers cut their teeth on the first game and did a wonderful job at that. Portal's shorter length, given it doesn't have all the same level gimmicks as its sequel, is actually a good thing, as it never overstays its welcome. Portal 2 is one of the very best games ever because Portal was so good, not in spite of it. And the one exception I mentioned, the credits of Portal 1, the gloriously iconic Still Alive, is leagues ahead of the sequel's credit song, Want You Gone. It can almost be said that Still Alive is one of the contributing factors to Portal becoming such a massive success. Portal 2 wasn't really made better with Want You Gone, it's just another good thing about an amazing game. So would I recommend one over the other? No. Play Portal, then play Portal 2. Portal 2 is very intelligently informed by what happens in the first game, so it is very worth it to play both. I would rate both Portal and Portal 2 5 out of 5. They are nearly flawless games, and deserve to be played by literally anyone who can play them. So, thank you for watching. This is the first one in this nice little series, and please do all the fun stuff you can do with videos nowadays. I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to be playing a series of 3 games next, instead of 2. So I'm ramping up all the games. The next games I'm going to be getting wet, so to say. Bye-bye.